Hello and welcome to all participants around the world. My name is Arya Peruma, and today we're going to be looking at a really exciting coding concept, which is coding an animation app. So in today's session, we're going to be learning a lot about major core concepts in programming, such as loops, conditionals, functions, and much more. And we're going to be able to see how this is used in real life animating apps and animating programs. So let's get started with our lesson today. So hopefully everyone can see this screen. So instructions were sent out to everyone so they can make their own code.org account. So hopefully everyone is signed into their account and sees this page right now. So essentially what you want to do is once you've actually signed into your code.org account, you want to go over to course catalog. And don't worry, I'll go slowly and I'll repeat this step once again after this, just to make sure everyone's on the same page. So basically you want to go to course catalog and that'll just be somewhere on the top bar over here. So just click on that. Scroll down and you want to go grades K to 5. Click learn more and go down here. Click on course E. And then scroll all the way down and click number 1 here. So basically it should say 15 functions in Minecraft and click 1. And then it should bring you to this. So I'm just going to pause this and it should bring you to this page. So no worries if you didn't get that the first time. I'm going to repeat that once again so everyone can get on this page and then we'll go from there. So what you need to do is go to your main dashboard over here and make sure you're signed into your account. Go to course catalog, scroll down, go to grades K to 5, click learn more, and then scroll down from there, go to course E, click on that, and then scroll all the way down until you see 15 functions in Minecraft and click 1. So essentially, if anyone had any questions or any trouble with that, please do let me know in the chat, and I'll give everyone a few minutes to log on and come on this page. And if you do have any questions with that, please feel free to type it in the chat. And I'll be checking that through the duration of this session just to make sure if anyone has any questions, please feel free to ask me. And if you do arrive to this page, you can just go ahead and just click that X button on the video. And then it should bring you to this. So I'll give everyone a few moments to come on this page. All right, so hopefully everyone has been able to get this on their screen. If you didn't have the opportunity to, or you're just not sure where to go, please feel free to type it in the chat and I can definitely help you out. So hopefully everyone has had this on their screen. So what you want to do is once you actually arrive to this page, you want to just choose a character. So this doesn't really matter. The coding will come out the same, but you can just go ahead and pick any one you want. So I'm just going to pick this one and I'm going to select it. And then it'll just give you some instructions and I'll click OK. So there was music accompanying that, but I've just muted that for the sake of demonstration here today. But actually what you're going to do is you're going to see this message pop up, just click OK, and then you should be able to view this interface. So hopefully everyone can see this right now. So before we get started with the coding, I just want to show everyone what this interface does look like. So kind of on the right side of our screen here, we have um, our code. So this is basically block-based coding, which is what we're going to be learning today. So block-based coding is a great start to coding for beginners if you're not really sure how to code or are kind of new to this concept. But essentially, block-based coding has the same like mentality and principles as written coding does, and is basically also a form of coding as well. But this is instead of actual words, it's in the form of blocks, and basically use that same logical thinking you do in typing coding to basically drag blocks and use some logical processes to make things happen, which is what we're going to be doing today. So essentially, what we're going to do is we're going to also draw our attention to the left side of our screen here, where you'll see kind of like your character and just like a whole screen full of stuff over here and a run button. So essentially, our aim throughout today's session is to essentially create animations with our code and using concepts that we learn in our coding session today. So basically we have two things here. We have our character and an agent. So essentially we're going to use these arrows to move our character to the desired position, but we're going to also use our agent to move our agent to desired position so our character can get through specific obstacles. And if that doesn't make sense right now, no worries. I'll definitely demonstrate this to you and show you how we can do this. So what we're going to do is we're just going to get started. So essentially what we want to do is we want our character, which is over here, to reach this kind of brown box, I believe that is. We're going to take our character and we want to move it to reach this brown box. So how can we do that, you may ask, and you may wonder how we can actually move our character just like that. But we can do it with the power of coding. So using coding, what we can actually do is we can animate our characters to actually be able to move from place to place. So what I'm going to do is, as you can see, this move forward block is already snapped over here. So I'm just going to take this out and I'm going to leave a blank canvas for us to work with. So you'll see two things here. You'll see a orange block that says when run and a blue block that says move forward. So essentially, this when run is what you can call a function. So a function is basically a aspect of code which tells you when something is going to happen. So basically, this when run function allows your code to basically run through. So if I move this move forward block underneath, as you can see, we have these two blocks. So we have when run and move forward. So basically when this whole code is run, our character will move forward one step. So that's what a function does. It tells our code what it's going to do and how you're going to start it. And as you can see, this can actually read as a sentence. So when our code is run, so basically when we click this run button, when we click run, our character will move forward one space. So let's see if that happens. So run, and as you can see, this is our agent over here. It moved forward one space. If I reset this, as you can see, this gate is closed. But because we moved this move forward block over here, we click run, and basically this character goes and clicks on this plate to open the gate. So now what we're going to do is we're going to use these up and down arrows to move our character all the way to the chest. And we completed this level just like that. So essentially I'm going to go back here. All right. So now I'm going to give everyone a few moments to experiment with this and try this out themselves. So this is just an introduction to the coding we're going to be doing today and an introduction to what we call functions. So remember, this can all read like a sentence. So basically, when an orange block, when our code runs, so when we click run here, our character will move one step forward. Likewise, if I bring 2 blocks over here and then I click run, as you can see, it now moved 2 steps forward. So basically, this tells our code that when on the condition that something happens, this whole code will run. So hopefully that made sense to everyone. Please ask any questions if you are curious about anything or need extra clarification. But I'll just leave around 1 or 2 minutes for everyone to sort of experiment with this. All right, so hopefully everyone has been able to complete this first kind of level here. So what you want to do next is if you just click run and it works, you should have something that will prompt you to go to the next level. But since I already did that, I'm just going to go ahead and on this top bar here, click the second circle. And if you hover over it, it should say number 2. So I'm just going to click on that. And now this takes us to the next level. So essentially, it tells you the objective for this level. So basically, we want to help our character get the map. I'm just gonna click OK. And now what we're going to do is we're going to essentially help our character get the map. So as you can see, these 2 blocks over here are kind of like plates. And if our character stands on it, a gate will open. So what we can do is we can actually use code to move our character 2 steps forward. So if we do 1, 2 steps, our character over here, our agent, will land on this plate and open the gate for our character over here. So I'm going to drag 2 move forward blocks over here and go to run. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just use these arrows to move my other character and get to the map. And as you can see, we use code to actually get our character to the map and animate it. So I'm just going to click replay here. So if everyone actually saw, I moved the character forward, this agent forward 2 times to stand on this plate. So I'm going to actually delete this and I'm going to show everyone an alternative of what we can do. So if everyone can actually see this pink block over here and it says repeat 2 times, do. So we're going to drag this over here. And this is what we call a loop. So loops are actually a very, very important concept in coding. And if you decide to continue on in coding and learn some more, you'll definitely see this a lot. So I'll tell everyone what a loop does. So let's say that we wanted to move our character 100 steps forward. Um, in order to do that, we would have to drag 100 move forward blocks, but that does take a lot of time. We probably don't want to spend all our time sitting here and dragging 100 move forward blocks because that just wouldn't be very efficient. And those numbers can even increase, like you might even need 1,000 steps forward. But you obviously don't want to go and drag 1,000 move forward blocks. And a main concern or a main goal in programming is to actually be able to be as efficient as possible and to save as much time as you can. So to save time, what programmers do is we use something called a loop. And a loop basically does the same thing as adding 100 blocks and moving the character 100 steps forward, but it does it in less code, so we don't have to write as much code. So that's what this is. This pink block is a loop. So basically, you can set it to how many times you want the loop to repeat, and depending on how much times you want the loop to repeat, we can actually move it forward that many times. So as you can see, it says repeat 2 times and move forward. So the move forward is inside this loop, and as you can see, we're going to repeat the move forward action 2 times when we click the run button. So as you can see, I didn't even have to put 2 move forward blocks there. I could just use the loop and just drag 1 move forward block in and have the loop repeat as many times as I want. And now, as you can see, we have our agent standing on the plate, and now our gates have opened. So we can actually, let's go over here. We can actually go to our map now. All right. So hopefully everyone has been able to see this, and I'm going to give everyone a few moments to try this out. So I definitely encourage you to try it out with the loop because, as I said before, the loop saves a lot of time. If we wanted our character to move forward 10 steps, instead of dragging 10 move forward blocks, we just need to drag in 1 move forward block with our loop, and our loop will basically repeat it as many times as we ask it to. So that's the great thing about loops. So go ahead and please feel free to try this out and ask any questions in the chat if you have any. All right, so hopefully everyone has been able to figure this out and actually get the map for your character. And of course, if at any time you have any questions, please feel free to ask me in the chat. All right, so let's go on to the next level. So that's um, the next circle over here. So go to the top and click the third circle. You should get a video. So what you can do is you can just click this X and X out that video. And now what we can actually do is we can actually continue our coding process and help our character navigate to more places. So now for this level, we actually need to make our character reach the compass over here. So that's kind of on the top right of the screen. So of course, in order to reach that, we need the help of code. So what we're going to do is we're going to put drag our agent to this block over here so we can open these gates. And essentially, we're going to have the agent open the gates and then and then our character is going to go to this compass. So I'm going to use a loop again. So as I mentioned before, the loop is what we can use to repeat a step many times without actually having to drag uh, a lot of blocks in to our code. So we're going to say when run, so when our code is run, we're going to move forward 4 times. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks. That should work. So now click run. And now as you can see, our agent lands on this opening block. And now we take our character and move along. All right, so now, as you can see, we've completed this level. And what we're going to do is we are going to give everyone a few moments to try this out themselves and see if they can get this working as well. And while some people are working on that, I want to first show everyone something really cool as well. So as I mentioned near the beginning of this session, we're going to be doing block-based coding today, which is what we just did right now. But basically, there's also coding that is not block-based and rather depends on actual typing. So basically, letters and symbols and things like that. So I'll show everyone what that looks like. So if I click Show Code, as you can see, it gives you this piece of code over here. And this is what I mean by typing code. It's not in the form of blocks, as you can see. It looks a little different, but actually in reality does the exact same thing. So basically, this piece of code over here is written in a language called JavaScript. So many of you may not be familiar with JavaScript, and that's okay, but JavaScript is basically what we call the language of the web. If you know many websites, like many online games as well, many of those kinds of things are built with JavaScript. So JavaScript is a language that you've actually interacted with a lot, but you probably haven't maybe seen until now. So essentially, as you can see, this is a loop. This is called a for loop. So this is a for loop in JavaScript, and basically, this is how you write the loop, and this is how you loop something 4 times in JavaScript. And this is a function. Basically, this is a function that moves something forward. So instead of having a move forward block, now it's written as a function with a 2 empty brackets and a semicolon. That's how it's written in JavaScript. And basically, this function will move something forward in JavaScript. So hopefully everyone enjoyed seeing that. And of course, anytime during this session, if you wanted to check out the actual typing code that you made through your block-based code, just go ahead and click the Show Code button over here, and you'll be able to see that. So I'll give everyone a few more moments to figure this out and try to get this part working. And please do ask me if you have any questions. All right, so hopefully everyone has been able to actually figure that out. Um, so now we're going to be moving on to our next level over here. And we're going to do that by simply going to the bar on top and clicking the 4th circle. And if you hover over it, it should say number 4. And go ahead and click on that. Okay, so as you can see, this one is looking a bit different because now we have kind of water here. So as you can see, it says the agent can hover over water, but the player can't. So basically what this means is we want to try to build a bridge for our player, which is over here, so it can cross this water and get to this bin over here, or this bucket that's in the top right corner. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to build a bridge for our character. So what we're going to do is we're going to have this agent actually go to one of these plates over here to actually hold it down so we can open this gate. So actually for this one, we won't even need a bridge because we can just have our character be navigated through this stone passageway over here. So let's go ahead and do that. So we want the final destination of our agent to arrive over here on this plate. And in order to do that, we of course need code again. So let's count how many spaces are between the current position of the agent and the final destination of it. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we need to go 7 steps forward. So of course, we're going to be using our for loop once again, and we're going to drag that in and move forward block as well. So now we have it read out as like a sentence. So when we run our program, basically our character is going to move forward 7 times according to this loop. So let's go ahead and run it. And now as you can see, it's over there and it's clicked on that plate, and now that gate has opened. So now what we can do is we can actually use these arrows to move our character over to this bucket over here. All right. So hopefully everyone has been able to see that. And I'll give everyone a few moments definitely to try this out as well and see if you can try your best to get it working. And please do let me know if you have any questions by typing them in the chat. Okay, so hopefully everyone has got an opportunity to try this out. So now we're gonna move on. And if anyone wants me to hold on for a minute while they try this out, please do let me know. More than happy to wait. But let's just move on for now and go to our next level. So what we can do is we can click this fifth circle on the top of the screen and just go ahead and click on that to arrive to the next level. And I'm going to clear this. So essentially, what we're going to do is we're actually going to um, get our character safely through the maze and collect this axe over here. You can see on the top right corner of the screen. So in order to do that, we of course have to use code once again. And we are going to actually have to open this gate for our character. So in order to open the gate for our character, what we should do is we should see how many steps we have to move in order for the character to end up over here. So let's see. So that's 2 steps forward, and then we have to turn right, and then you go 2 steps forward again. So let's try that out. So we have 2 steps forward. Let's see what that looks like. That brings us over here. Now, when we're forward, we have to turn this agent right. So let's turn it right, 2 steps forward. As you can see, we turned it right. And now we have to make it go 2 steps forward again to our final destination. So 2 steps forward, right, and it moves forward twice to this plate. And now what we can do is we can actually move our character through to the axe over here. So now, as you can see, we've actually written all of this code, and if you click the show code button, you can actually see the loops and functions that we have used, and you can see that in JavaScript as well. So I'll give everyone an opportunity to try that out. please feel free to ask me if you have any questions. All right, so hopefully everyone has been able to get our character to the axe and effectively try to implement the code to do that. So next, we're going to move on with these animation application concepts. And now what we're going to do is go to the top bar over here and click on the next circle. If you hover over it, it should say 6. So let's go ahead and click on that. And now, as you can see, we have this blank screen to start over with over here. So now what we're going to do is we have to be able to actually cross this water over here. So we have to try to get to the shovel, which is located over here. But actually what happens is if I try to run this, our character can't uh, cross over water, but this agent can. So I'm going to reset that. And we're going to try to actually get to the shovel. But in order to actually get our character over here, we have to make our agent build a bridge so our character can do so. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the place function, which is located over here. As you can see, it's a new function that probably just came up on your screens. We're going to use that function to move forward, move our agent forward, and place these oak planks to build a bridge for our character. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's see. So basically, when we run our code, what we want to do is, let's see what happens if we put a loop in there, and we move it forward and place an oak plank. And we do this 3 times because there's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 spaces of water here that our character has to cross. So let's go ahead and try to do that. Let's see how this works. And perfect, as you can see, we actually built a bridge in this way. So essentially all I did is I used a loop. So I said when we run this code, we're gonna have our agent move forward and place an oak plank. And we're gonna repeat those instructions 3 times. So move forward, place an oak plank, move forward, place a plank, move forward, place a plank. So we're gonna do that set of instructions 3 separate times so we can build a bridge. So I'm gonna go ahead and run this. And now we're going to use our arrow keys to move our character over to the shovel. And that's all there is to this level. So basically, this is now using for loops. And before we only had one condition inside the loop. So we only had like one move forward block. But now, as you can see, we can put multiple conditions and multiple functions inside our loop as well. So we can actually execute multiple functions at the same time, which is what we did over here. We did a move forward and place an oak plank, and we basically executed that step 3 separate times. All right, so give everyone a few moments to work on this. And of course, if you have any questions about anything, please feel free to ask. Okay, so hopefully everyone has had a moment to try this out themselves by their own. But now we're going to be moving on to the next level. So moving on to that, we're going to be going to the next circle, and if you hover over it, it should say number 7, practice. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go and build a bridge across another river, except this one is much wider than the last. So what we're going to do is we're going to use code once again to help our character actually get through this water. So hopefully I can move this over here, start this over, unless, all right. Okay, um, so I believe that this code should already be there for you because it's appearing that this is the default. But if it's not, I'll go ahead and try to drag this back into place. And now what you can do is we can actually be able to build another bridge over our water. So let's count how many spaces there are from the agent to the axe. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces. We need to build a bridge with 5 blocks. So that's why we're going to repeat this loop 5 times because we want our agent to move forward and place an oak plank 5 separate times. So now we use this loop and the when run function, and we run this. And now as you can see, we have kind of like a bridge built over here. And now we're going to maneuver our character and bring it all the way to the axe, which we just picked up. And now hopefully everyone has been able to get this working, and I'll give everyone a few moments to do so and test it out themselves. And if anyone wanted to see the JavaScript for this code that you wrote, this is the code. So basically, we have the for loop in JavaScript, and we have our functions. Basically, the place block function that allows us to place a block, and the move forward function, which allows us to move a step forward. All right, so hopefully everyone has been able to figure this out. Now what we're going to do is we're going to move on to our next level by simply going to the top bar over here, and hovering and going to the next circle, and it just say number 8 if you hover over it. And if you see a video, just simply exit out. So now, as you can see, our screen right now is looking a little different. So as you can see, we have something called a function here. So a function is basically something that we can call, and when we actually call the function, we can call the function by dragging the appropriate block over. But when we call this function, basically everything within the function over here will be run in the code. So this function is called build bridge. So if I dragged a build bridge block over here, basically the whole build bridge code over here that's on the right, this code that's this function, this whole code will be run when we click this orange button. So basically functions are great because we can associate a specific set of actions to a function. So we have something called build bridge, and whenever we say build bridge, basically everything here, all the steps here are going to work in our code. And this is good because we don't have to drag these steps multiple times again and again whenever we want to do something, but rather we can just use the build bridge function and just drag it in. And basically, if we drag that build bridge function in, everything here will work. So that's a really that's a really good way to save time when you're coding, and it's really useful, especially when you do more complex things in the future. So now let's see what happens if I run this. So as you can see, the whole build bridge function is running. But now what actually happens is our goal is to get to the redstone torch, which is over here. So if you go to see the top right corner of your screen, you can see that torch over there. So what we want to do is we want to build a bridge all the way up and all the way right so our character can cross and get to the torch. But as you can see, our agent stops over here after building one bridge. So what we want to do is we want to use the function to build two bridges. So basically, as you can see, it turns right at the end of this code. We want it to turn right, and then we want it to build another bridge again. So we're going to run this and see what it does. And now we can see that it's effectively built two bridges across. And now what we're going to do is we're going to use our character and use the arrows over here to go over the bridges and go to the torch. And now I should say puzzle 8 completed. And now we've completed this level. So go ahead and try to see if you can explore the functions a bit more, um, and and see what you can do with this. And I'll give everyone a few moments to do so and try this level out themselves. I'm going to also show everyone the code, the JavaScript code associated with this as well. As you can see, we have a function and it actually says function build bridge. And as you can see, there is a underscore between build and bridge, and that's just generally a convention that coders use to separate words. They also do something called Camel Case as well, which is basically you, if it was build bridge, it's build written as it is, but then also instead of the underscore, basically they'll write bridge with an uppercase letter. So it'll be build with lowercase letter, and then the word bridge will have be uppercase. So basically, they just do these things to separate words, and so you know that these are separate words. And in the function, we have many other functions placed inside as well that allow us to move forward, place a block, and turn right and do all of those actions. And then we have the build bridge function called outside of this main function over here. So this is what we call calling a function. All right, so hopefully everyone um, was able to understand that. And please ask if you have any questions at all. So I saw that someone just raised their hand. I'm not sure if that was for a question, but if you have a question, you can definitely type it in the chat and I'll be happy to answer it. Okay, so hopefully everyone has been able to figure this out and see how these functions actually work. So now what we're going to do is we're going to move on to the next level by going to the top and clicking on the next green circle. I'm going to click this. So now what we want to do is we actually want to be able to clear a path. So as you can see, we have three main blocks here blocking the path to get to this mine cart over here. So what we want to do is we want to use our agent to clear these blocks of, I think those are ice blocks, so clear those blocks of ice. And as you can see, we have another function already made for us, and this function is called clear path. When we call the function clear path, what our agent will do is the agent will destroy the block, move forward, and place gravel on the block. So let's try that out. So we're gonna say when run clear path, and let's see what happens. So as you can see, it cleared the path for the block that's in front of it, but it doesn't move forward anymore because we didn't add a move forward block. So we have to actually use as many functions as possible to effectively get to the end of this level over here. So now to fix this, we're going to use a loop. So what we're going to do is we're going to move forward and clear a path whenever we run this code. So we want to move this forward and clear a path. And as you can see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks we need to cross, 6 spaces that we have to cross in order to get to the final block and clear it. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a loop and we're going to repeat this step of move forward and calling the clear path function 6 times. Let's see what happens. All right, great. So we actually was able to use the clear path function already made for us. And what we're able to do is we're able to put it inside a for loop and move our agent forward and then clear the path. And we're able to do this 6 times to clear this whole line. And now what we're going to do is we're going to use our character and use these arrow keys over here to move it to the final destination. And now, as you can see, we have all of this code to show over here. We have the code for the function and then the loop where we've actually called the move forward and clear path functions inside this loop. So we're going to click OK there. And basically, just as always, I'm going to give people more time to figure this out and try this out themselves. And of course, ask me if you have any questions at all. All right, so hopefully everyone has had time to do that. Um, if you need any more time, please feel free to type it in the chat and say that you would like more time. And also feel free to ask if you had any questions about this. So now we're going to move on to this is second last level, I believe. So we're going to go to the top and we're going to click the circle that's after this one, and it says 10 if you hover over it. So just go ahead and click on that. And now, as you can see the functions like before. So there are functions already pre-made for us here as well, but now we have to be able to know how to actually use them properly. So we have, of course, that when run function or when run block over here. And what we want to do is we want to look at these two functions made for us. We have the fix long path function and the fix short path function. So this is the short path. So the first path you see is the short path that's left. And this is the long path, the one that's over here, this distance. So what we're going to do is we're going to make our agent turn left. We're going to have it move forward 2 times. So we're going to add a loop here. Move forward 2 times. And then we're going to go and drag this fix short path function over here. Let's go ahead and run it. And as you can see, the short path is fixed. That's how you can fix the short path. So essentially by turning it left, having it move forward twice, and then running through this whole function, iterating through this whole function that was already created, we can actually fix this short path. And now what we want to do is we also want to fix this long path, which is over here as well. And we can think of it the same way. So in order to fix long path, we have to now from here, actually I'm going to try to play this again so I can show everyone. But now as you can see, the agent is facing this way. So you have to make it turn right. So let's make it turn right. And then we have to move it forward 2 times in order to reach here. So let's add a loop and move this forward 2 times, like the loop says. Move it forward 2 times and then fix the long path. And basically when we drag this fix long path function in, basically this function will get run over here. Let's click reset and run. Let's see what happens. And now as you can see, our agent has rebuilt this road, which we can now go on. So as you can see, the character is traveling on this road and now has arrived to the final destination. And now to show everyone the code in JavaScript, as you can see, it is getting progressively longer. So this is the function to fix the long path, and this is the function to fix the short path. And this is basically us calling our function. So us calling turn left function for us to turn left, putting the loop in, putting calling functions inside the loop, and then fixing the short path as well. So hopefully everyone got that, and please feel free to try it yourself too, and ask if you have any questions, of course. All right, so hopefully everyone has been able to see that. And now we're gonna move on to the final level before we end our session today. So in order to move on to the final level, once again, go to the top and click on the next circle and click on that to arrive to the next level. So as you can see, this one looks pretty exciting. And what we're going to do here is we're just going to use the same principles we've used with functions and loops and iteration um, once again to navigate our character to this book over here, to this enchanted book, as they call it in the Minecraft game. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to um, guide our agent through to build a bridge across this lava that you see. So in order to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to have it first turn right so we can build it across this way. We're going to have it turn right. We're going to have it move forward. We're going to have it turn left so it's facing the correct way. And then we're going to build a long bridge. So the long bridge will be across here. But now we have to also build a short bridge because there's also a function to build a short bridge as well. And in order to build this bridge, what we're going to do is we're going to basically add more blocks in to do that. But first, I'm going to show everyone what building a long bridge looks like. So let's go ahead and run that and see what happens. And basically, this is a long bridge, and this is all that our function over here that builds a long bridge allows for. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do that again, except we're going to actually also build a short bridge as well. So our long bridge came somewhere up to here, I believe. So now in order to build a short bridge, we have to turn left to build the rest of the bridge. We're going to move forward. To make this easier for everyone, I'm just going to show everyone actually what that bridge looked like. So let's go back here. And now, as you can see, we need to build a bridge up to this book over here. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn our agent left, so turn it left, and then we're going to move forward, place a netherrack, and a netherrack is basically just that material to build the bridge across lava. We're going to turn right to face this book over here, and then we're going to build a short bridge. And basically, when you drag this function in, we're going to call this function over here that goes through these steps to build a short bridge. Now we're going to click reset, we're going to run, and we're going to watch the code do the work. And now we actually have a bridge built. So what we're going to do is we're going to go across, and we're going to go on our book over here, which is our final destination. And now we've actually got our character across and we've completed the final level. So hopefully everyone enjoyed that. And I'm just going to give everyone a few moments to try this out themselves and see if there are any other paths or any other code blocks they can drag to build the bridge in a different way. So in code, the great thing is there's many possibilities. So you can do things many different ways as long as it reaches the final destination. So this is one method. So if you have another way to do it, you can definitely go ahead and try to do that. And I'll give everyone a few moments, and please do ask me if you have any questions. All right, so hopefully everyone has been able to have an opportunity to try that out. And now what we're going to do is we're going to actually end over here for today. Hopefully everyone actually enjoyed this session today and learned something new about coding. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back here. And once again, thank you so much, everyone, for coming to today's session. Hopefully, everyone enjoyed um, building their own animation apps with Minecraft. This is just a small snippet of what coding can do. We learned some really cool things like loops and conditionals and functions today. And this is just a small portion of coding. So there's more sessions as well. So if you're interested in attending any more future sessions and future parts of today's session, please feel free to follow me on Twitter, and all updates regarding next sessions will be posted there. With that, thank you everyone for joining us today. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me, and I'll be more than happy to help you with anything coding related, or if you need help with anything else as well. So thank you so much, and I'll see you guys hopefully in the next tutoring session. Thank you and bye.